Wake up, Jacob, Israelite Prepper here. Just want to talk to you guys about primarily one thing. And that one thing I want to talk to you about is telling your family that you're going to pursue a polygamous relationship, you're in a polygamous relationship, you're thinking about a polygamous relationship. That's a tough nut right there. That's a real tough nut to crack because you got a lot of people who, well, we'll get to that in a second. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna cue this up here so I can see any comments that we may have here. There we go. So that way I can look at some of the comments. So give me just a second. Get in there nice and tight. There we go. There we go. All right. So we're nice and tight. Nice and tight. All right. Okay. Look, we're not going to talk about whether or not, polygyny is biblical, is it right, wrong, stuff like that. If you're here, you probably already know that, Israelite Prepper, support biblical, polygyny, support, which is just biblical marriage or whatever. Some people make way too much of it, more of it than it is. It's just a form of biblical marriage. That's it. But here's the thing. Some people are new to the idea, and some people might be attracted to the idea. And one of the major things that they want to do is tell their family. They want to tell somebody, right? And it goes back to shalom, Tracy, shalom. It goes back to when you come into the truth of the scriptures, right? I want to use that. Shalom, Lenny Christian. I want to use that example just for a second, right? We come out of Sunday Christianity. Right? And our eyes are open. The scales come off our eyes, right? And we realize that, hey, there's some biblical truth out there. I see the Bible in a completely different way now. I was doing it like a Sunday Christian, and I believed in all these traditions that are not even found in the Bible. I don't do Christmas anymore. I don't do Easter anymore. I don't do Halloween anymore. You guys get the point, right? So what we end up doing is that we come out of that whole, Sunday Christian idea, right? And then we go to tell our family. We try to tell our family. We say, hey, you know what? This is pagan. You don't want to do that. You tell them about the dietary law. Hey, we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't, eat pork, shrimp, catfish. And you are met with such hate. You're met with such vitriol, with such disdain. Your family, it's like you don't even know them anymore, right? Then you may get judged and you may get ridiculed or something like that. See, you come to it and you have this zeal, okay? You have this zeal, you feel good about it. You're like, hey, the scriptures are starting to make a lot more sense. I know who I am. I feel a closer relationship with the Most High. You start feeling all these things. And then you want to share it. So you tell your family and friends about it and stuff like that. And pretty soon you become a pariah. You're crazy. You're fanatic. You're in a cult. Okay? Bittersweet, right? Bittersweet. Now, I want to take that and I want to juxtapose that with polygyny, the idea of polygyny, because this is just another aspect. This is just another biblical, truth. It's just another biblical topic, right? No different than 10 Commandments, dietary law, sacrificial law, feast days. No different. It's just another thing that's, in the Bible, right? And so now you want to tell your family that, hey, I'm polygynous, or I'm thinking about polygyny. I may get in one, or or if you're a guy, you say, hey, okay, I'm going to take a second or third wife, right? Or if you're a woman, you're going to say, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to get married, and the guy who I happen to want to marry is a polygynist. What I have to warn you is that the same resistance that you got from the people closest to you when you told them about the truth is going to be the same when you tell them about the truth of biblical marriage, i.e. polygyny. It's going to be the same thing. Now, some of you out there, you may say, well, it really wasn't that bad when I told them about the truth, or, the truth of the Bible and stuff like that, it really wasn't that bad. So, I was good. Okay, well, I'm gonna get you ready, get you prepared for what may come. Some people come from a really judgmental family, okay, where the families, they speak their mind, they're gonna say what their opinion is, they're gonna just really put it out there, and they might read you the riot act, okay, they may read you the riot act. Some people may ostracize you, you may feel shut out, you may feel shunned. But I have to tell you, a lot of that really depends on how much weight you put on the opinion of the family. Okay, so the weight you put on it, they're gonna carry that. Okay, meaning if you don't care what they think, then it's no big deal. Okay, it's not as big a deal, I should say. But if you really do care what they think, sometimes that's a deal breaker to some people out there. Okay, because some people have this idea. Hey, shalom, shalom. Let's see that. You said, she's Tracy Haynes. She said, I've been married 30 years happily, but I believe now polygyny is right for me. My wife is very opposed. Not sure what to do there. Okay, Tracy. All right. Happily married. You don't know if your wife is opposed to it. Well, you're gonna have to sit down and talk to her about it. This video, I will talk about telling the family the family that's not not the wife. Now, talking to the wife, that's a completely different matter. Okay, that's a completely different matter. I was just talking about, oh, she is opposed. Oh, you know for sure she's opposed. Okay, you know for sure she's opposed, right? She's against it. All right. You talked to her. How did you bring it up? What happened? Okay, she is opposed. Okay. Now, how did you bring it up? She's very opposed. Okay. She's very opposed. Okay, that is a tough one. It can be turned around. Okay, you just told her one day. Now, did you tell her, hey, I've been thinking about this, this is what I'm gonna do, or did you kind of tell her maybe she should study on it? I mean, how was it? I guess what I'm saying is, oh, she yelled, cried, and it wasn't good. Okay, so it went, okay. Well, okay. Fellas, what we gotta understand is that when you bring that subject up, it's a very sensitive subject, okay? You told her you wanted to do it, okay. The thing is, one, it's a very sensitive subject, okay? You saw by your wife's reaction, right? But you gotta understand the things that go on inside them when you bring this subject up, right? One, probably was not raised in that type of environment whatsoever. Probably wasn't taught about, it wasn't talked about. She didn't, I'm assuming you're here in America, okay? I'm assuming you're in America, right? So, not raised in, this is not a polygynous society, even though people do it, all the time. Okay, right here in America, okay, no problem. So here's the thing. A few things is happening, okay? Let's see. Brother Stephen Shalom said, we are courting somebody. My wife is good with it. She's from Kenya, but I'm worried about our extended family and kids. Okay, we're going to get back to that. I'm going to go back to Brother Haynes real quick, and then we're going to get back to that, Brother Steve. Listen, it's a few things that we got to understand. One, she's not raised in that society. It's a completely foreign, completely different thing, okay? So it's taught to be taboo. Then there's a lot of insecurities that are going to come out. It's going to be like, okay, am I good enough? Am I being replaced? Am I not enough of a woman? I thought I did everything. I thought we were happy. It's a lot of things, Now, from the male perspective, we know that it has nothing to do with that, okay? And I'm talking guy to guy. We know that it has nothing to do with whether or not your wife is good enough. Did you want to join in there? My wife want to join. She's pretty quiet, but she may say something every now and again. Okay, so we have a brother.
Yes.
Told his wife, and she had a meltdown.
Yes.
And she's not happy. She even cried. He said she yelled, she cried, and I was just trying to tell him the feelings that are
Yeah.
why.
I don't presume to know what's in your wife's mind,
Yeah.
but
We're going to
I
speak
think,
in generalities.
yeah,
It's general.
I've been listening. So I think it was you guys have been married for 30 years.
Yeah, that's what he said. Go ahead.
And so it could very well be something along the lines of uh, when women are overly possessive.
Sure.
You know, when they're overly possessive, behind that is a lot of fear and insecurity.
A lot.
And so some of the fears or insecurities that she may have is that, you know, you two have been married for 30 years
Mm-hmm.
and you have been happy, but now he wants someone else. So she starts to ruminate in her mind, I'm not young.
Yep.
You know, I'm not pretty. My skin doesn't snap back
A
like
lot of
it used
insecurities.
to.
Yep.
You know, I don't weigh what I used to weigh.
Yep.
You know, and especially if he's wanting to marry because he wants more kids.
Yep.
You know, then and if she can't have any more kids, or if it's been a while and you guys have been trying, you know, she could very well feel that her body is broken, and so you want to replace it
Absolutely.
with someone who's young and can have the babies, and she could also feel that when this new person comes in, it's going to change the dynamic of the relationship that she has.
And pause just 1 second, but don't forget what you're going to say, because I want to ask him a question. I didn't ask. This. Okay, you're about to answer.
Yeah,
You said
exactly.
I do want more kids. I want her to stay, and I just want to add. Okay, I was just about to ask you that. What was the purpose? Go ahead and continue. That's what I was going to ask.
And so with that, as women, you know, if we can't provide that one thing that you want, we feel some type of way about that. We feel very broken, and we feel like, okay, so he's going to bring this other woman in, and he's going to love her more than he loves me.
Right.
Because she can have the baby, she can have the kids,
Exactly.
you know, she can give him the things that I can't give.
Now, again, remember, that may not be true at all. That may be way off the mark, but that's how she feels, okay? Go ahead.
Yeah, right. From a male perspective, men don't think that way.
No.
You know, for a man, it's a foreign concept for a woman to wrap her head around, that my husband can be married to two people and love them not the same,
Right.
but love both of them rather.
Right.
Because for us, if you think about us, we are only gearing our emotions, our loyalty and all that towards one person.
One person, right.
And so from our perspective, one person gets it.
Right.
You know,
right.
If a wife ever turns her head away from her husband, she completely cuts her husband off for this new interest. That's often how men can find out what's going on with their wives, but that's a digression.
And women are naturally monogamous.
Women are naturally monogamous like that. So for her to wrap her head around the idea that you, Mr. Tracy, can love someone else and still love her, that is foreign.
Exactly. It's a very foreign thing. It doesn't compute, because guys think different and feel different than women. So it doesn't compute that it's actually possible for us to feel that way.
Right.
And and you can equate it to like kids. Okay, you have 3, 4, 5 kids. It doesn't matter. You love all your kids, right? Now that's something that they can understand, because they can have a lot of kids and they can love all their kids. They can understand that. But they don't. But there's a disconnect when you say wife and wife.
Right.
You know,
there is. So my suggestion, as far as a woman, if you want to ease your wife into this, is to educate her.
That's
and not just education from you.
Yes.
There are some great. I don't know if you watch Following Yeshua, that YouTube channel. His wives, the daughters of Sarah. They are really good examples to look at, and they just started a fellowship group. So
like
that sister chat.
It's just for women only.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
good. He does. Okay.
Okay. And so the sister chat, she can actually get to know some women who are actually living a plural biblical marriage, and there's several sisters there, including us, we're living this life. so she can ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know if you allow her to have Facebook, but if you do, there are some groups for women only. I would never suggest a mixed group.
Right.
But
And are you in the
only,
biblical truth too? Or are you in the the faith, Torah and all that? I just want to know that. Go ahead.
you know, and so there are some groups there that can provide a support system for, he says I am,
Okay.
to provide a support system for her, and just really some education. There are some books out there, and so that's where I would start, because you're never going to convince her if she has to see that there's nothing to fear.
Exactly.
You could tell her all day long that you're gonna love her until your last breath, but she's not gonna believe it, unfortunately.
Exactly.
She's going to have to be educated in order to come into the knowledge of, oh, it's not.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So the two things: one's going to be education. She's going to have to hear a different voice. Thank you, brother. She's going to have to hear a different voice sometime, not just from you, but from other people, other like-minded individuals. And then the education. Also, we recommend the Them and Him book by Dr. Gina Murray. So I don't know if you already got it, but have her read that. It doesn't talk a whole lot about polygyny in there, but it has biblical family structure, okay, and what it can help her understand your position and her position in the marriage, okay? It could help get her there, okay? But if we push one note, okay, polygyny, she's just gonna resist. So education, and number two, reassurance. Yes. Steve, I hadn't forgot about you. I'm gonna go back to what you were what you asked. You said we're courting somebody. My wife is good with it. She's from Kenya, but I'm worried about our extended family and kids. Okay, so which is what this is about. All right, shalom, brother Tracy. That's what this is about. Okay. First and foremost, I think you have to ask yourself, do you care what they think? Mm-hmm. You got to shalom, brother Anderson. Here's this question that we're answering right now. Does it matter? Okay, is it a deal breaker? Let's just start there. Okay, there's nothing to worry about it. If their opinion doesn't matter or whatever, then do what you got to do, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people, I care, but it's not a deal breaker. Okay, but it's not a deal breaker. Okay, no problem. All right, no problem. It's not a deal breaker. All right, so what you have to have is the courage of your convictions, right? So people are going to come with the different objectives. So they've never heard of this lifestyle, right? They don't, or they heard of it and they hate it or whatever, right? So I'll give you a chance to answer that. Okay. You have to have the courage of your convictions. You have to walk with integrity. You have to have good character. You have to be a shining example of what this lifestyle can be and the type of character that you have. That's one, okay? Because they're looking for any reason not to like it, not to like you, okay? I have no idea what their views are. Okay, all right. So I would err on the fact that they're going to be against it, okay? Because if they're for it, that's a bonus. That's good, okay?
We've seen that typically for the husband, his family is pretty okay with it, because at the end of the day, the thing that your family wants most is for you to be healthy, for you to be happy.
Right.
And so for you, Mr. Anderson, your family will probably more likely be okay with it. Females in your family might not be okay with it, but they might not voice that to you.
Maybe, but we don't know your family. We're just assuming, that I'm assuming you're more concerned about her side, her extended family, rather than your own. Yeah. Because a lot of times, guys, we can kind of detach and like, hey, we're gonna do our own thing. Right. We're gonna blaze our own trail, raise up our own family, and whatever anyone thinks, that's whatever. What happens is that a lot of time on the female side of it, they're real close to their family. They care what mom thinks. They care what auntie thinks. They care about cousins, sisters, brother, all that. They care about all of that, right? Mm-hmm. So, again, it's going to go back to, educating them and understanding what those objectives may be, okay? And then what you have to do is you have to, and I know this from experience, you got to, if they have questions and they have objectives, you have to answer those objectives. You have to address those questions, Don't do it too much like with questions because it seems like you're being evasive. Okay.
Right. And you can't overlook the importance of your wife because your wife is gonna set the tone
Absolutely.
for a lot of things with your family. If you come to your family,
keep going. I'll read it. Right.
If you come, your wife's family is okay. So, yeah.
Okay, they're in Kenya. That's not an issue. And then it said my new partner has family here in Texas, though. I'm also concerned about how to teach my kids. They are still very young. Oh, they're gonna take it well. Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things.
They're gonna take that.
For your potential, her family from Texas. We're actually from Texas.
From Texas too. So.
Yeah, originally. But her family, the potential's family, are probably going to be very concerned at the outset. You know, they want to know that their daughter or sister or whatever that she's going to be taken care of, that she's not going to be manipulated by you and your wife, that she's really truly going to be a part of your family and a forever part of your family, not just a part of your family and you know
just
we're
trying
having
it out.
we're trying it out, we're having a hard time, so now we're just going to break up. They're going to be concerned about that because that's what's in the media. If you look at, I think they have that show, the Seeking Sister Wives, you know, and it seems like the incoming wives are more like, you know, temporary.
Yeah, right.
And so that's the thing that they are going to need to feel comfortable about, that you, number one, you care for her.
Is she going to be an equal? Or is she going to be a maid or a babysitter or something like that? They're concerned about things like that because those are some of the first things that they throw out there. You know, it's like, no, you're never going to be. They'll say to her, oh, you're never going to be equal, or you're not like a full wife. You're not really. You need to protect yourself, and all. They're thinking about all these, you know, negative things. You got to be able to address those type of things, and then you also want to have a process in place. There you go. You want to have a process in place that shows them that you're serious about it and that you're doing your due diligence, but also that she's doing her due diligence. I had the video and we're talking about, you know, the four steps in the process, okay, which again is proving, courting, betrothal, and then marriage, right? In each stage, they can be at any length, it's up to you, but in that first, is that proving is that discovering what's going on, the likes, dislikes, all the little, idiosyncrasies that we look at, that sort of thing. And then the courting is like what you're doing right now. That would be, I guess, what they call modern day, dating or whatever. But that's really kind of getting the plans in place. You're kind of sharing your vision with her, of what you want to do. They want a full plan. They want a vision. They don't want some just kind of because they don't think you're serious about it. That person feels like they're temporary. We gotta show people that this is marriage, okay, and that it is meant, okay, to be for life. It's meant to be. Now things happen, okay. Someone could rebel against you. Anything could happen, okay. Someone, adultery, different things could happen that could end the marriage, prematurely. But you got to show them that you're for real, okay? And then again, back to that process has to be in place. And that way, when you're talking to someone else, you explain and say, well, this is a process. This is not just, my front door isn't just a revolving door. It's just not just a carousel and one woman comes in, another one goes out, and just like that. No, this is family. I'm trying to build a family. I'm trying to build, my own tribe. So you have to have that all in place, have your vision, stuff like that. Reassure her the potential. And then when you address the family, because that's what this is about, when you address the family, you have to be a person of upstanding character, okay? You have to have upstanding character, and they're going to have some concerns, and you're not going to have any answers that instantly going to just turn someone around. So don't think that. It's just not going to happen, right? A person, it's a saying I said, a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. They're still going to feel the same way, but you do have to give an answer. So you don't come off as being sneaky, conniving, underhanded, or anything like that. So give them an answer, give them an answer. If they come from you from a perspective of a biblical perspective, understand the arguments, okay? I had some videos talking about the different biblical arguments, and at the end of the day, there's no scripture prohibiting the practice of it. You might hear something in the effect of, all the examples in the Bible, polygyny are bad, this and that. You gotta address that. You you may be, oh, it's not God's perfect will. You got to address that. You got to address all these arguments. Then you go from a societal standpoint. You got to be able to answer those questions. Illegal, that legal. You got to understand that it's bigamy that's illegal, having possessing two marriage license, all that stuff. So just have your answers, ready. Just be prepared because they're going to hit you from different angles. Okay, you're being selfish. Why do you need this? What's the point? What's the big idea? You're going to get hit so many different angles. You need to be ready for it. Go ahead.
Yeah. And as far as being ready for it and places to come from, they have to really see that the maximum benefit is not for you.
Right.
That the maximum benefit is for your potential.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the main thing.
Absolutely.
And then he next asked about the kids, and the thing I wanted to say about kids is we teach kids what's acceptable.
Exactly.
We teach them what's normal.
Yep.
And so your kids, it's good that they're young.
Yeah.
Because they will just naturally, as you live your life, they will naturally see, oh, my dad, he has, two wives. I have, mom and Ima or whatever they decide to be called, they will feel like that is normal. That's their family,
And we're gonna handle it. Going with what you're saying, we handle it. You can handle it the same way as the LGBT community. They teach it like, hey, that's just a normal thing. You act the same way. This is a family. This is a biblical family structure. Okay, I'm not saying we're taking a page out of their book, but what I'm saying is that they're not panicking like, oh, what the kids are gonna think or whatever. What do they say? Oh, there's two mommies, and all that. Same thing in polygyny. You got two mommies. Okay, that's it. You got 2-3 mommies. So it's the same principle. They take like my wife was saying. They take cues from you. You feel like, hey, if you act that's normal, that's hey, this is normal. This is how I go. That's how they're gonna take it.
Yeah,
okay?
Especially if they're homeschooled. I don't know if they're homeschooled or not. But whether they are homeschooled or they go to school, last year was our oldest daughter's last year in public school.
Yeah,
she'll be homeschooled from now on. But the point being is that most of her friends knew, all of her friends knew that that her dad believed in biblical polygyny, and so they don't even bat an eye. She just kind of jokes sometimes about dad and his women, but to her friends, I've seen her to some of her friends. But the point being is that even teenagers, they are very accepting of different types of.
If they go to homeschool club, potential children or public school friends. Okay.
Gotcha. So. Yeah, the potential children, they will be fine. Even
if they're young. If they're pretty young, that's even better.
If they go to public school. And unfortunately, in public school, kids are they're faced with or presented with all different types of things. They teach different agendas. They teach not being gender specific in schools now. Yeah. They teach kids that they may be bisexual or transgender. They learn all of those things. And my point of bringing that up is because kids are in public school are fed that when you approach them with another alternative lifestyle, they take it. They take it well.
They take it well. That actually benefits us. I mean, I understand we're not praising and applauding, the wicked world or anything like that, but it does work to our advantage because all these other lifestyles are accepted, okay, and they're taught to be accepted. Guess what? This is another one. This one happens to be biblical, but this is another lifestyle that needs to be accepted. I mean, you got kids right now, public school, got 2 moms, 2 dads. Some live with their, grandpa because they don't teach anymore. I mean, my wife, public school teacher, right?
Yeah, we don't teach anymore that there's a mom and a dad. We don't even say go. Take this home to your parents. We say take this home to your guardian.
Exactly.
Because you never know who kids.
You don't know how their family's made up, and then they don't want them to feel, like something's wrong with their family.
More or less, I would actually talk with your wife and the potential.
Mm.
The kids accepting polygyny is not what I would focus on, or I don't think that would be much of a problem for you. I think more of it is probably public school to homeschool transition. That's what I would discuss with your potential and your wife, because having one set of kids in public school learning that agenda, and then having kids in homeschool learning your agenda, there's a potential for some conflict right there. So, and the kids will need some adjustment as far as going from public school to homeschool. So that I would definitely have some talks about what that looks like for your family.
Definitely. I think that one of the most important things is that all the adults, the three adults, have to be reading from the same sheet of music. Everyone has got to be on the same page. Because again, they look at they as far as the parental unit, all three people,
Yes.
they're looking at the weak link. Who doesn't seem like they're on the same page? Who doesn't seem like they're on board?
The one they're gonna go to.
And that's what they sensing something's wrong. So yeah, you got to be on the same page. So if it's all homeschooling for everybody, that's good. This whole idea of polygyny, that's good. Are the two moms, are they getting along? Yeah. They look at that too. They look at all that. Okay.
Well, what do I call them?
Yeah. What do I call? They're looking at all those cues. So you get the parental unit. Starting with you. Being the husband. It's got to start with the leadership, and then everyone has got to be working together. It has to be a strong unit, because the world will come against you, and you're gonna have to draw on each other's strength in that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's see if we got.
And then that was it for the comments.
That's the one. Okay, our homeschool, but okay.
Yeah, that's
club, potential kids, public school for now. Okay, great. All right, so you know what? That's what I have to now. Do you have any closing remarks as far as telling the family how you deal with it, or like testimony? Anything you tell your family, and then what could happen? We want it to all be good, but it's not always good.
It could all be good, and that's great. That's positive. It might not be so good, but then in that instance, I would say that the attitude of the wives are going to be paramount. The attitude of your potential. If she has an attitude of, "Yep, this is great for me, and this is going to be wonderful, and I'm okay with it," then her family will, hopefully support her on that. But if she doesn't, they're going to have a lot of questions for her too.
Oh,
and if she can't answer those questions, and if she doesn't answer them with the courage of her conviction, then they're going to pick up on that.
Exactly.
And then that's not going to help the situation.
Exactly.
That's not going to help them to be more comfortable with it.
Exactly, because you have to, again, you have to, come with some assurance. You're a grown person. This is what you want to do. This is what you decide to do. So if I were going to my family, I say, hey, listen, I got to tell you something. Enlightened one, Shalom family, just now catching y'all. I'm about to go watch from the beginning. All right, no problem. Shalom, shalom. If I was going to my family and say, hey, listen, guys, I want to tell you something. Now, I would very much thank you, shalom, Steve. I say, look, I got to tell you guys something, and I would very much like your support. However, if I don't get your support, I still have to make my own decision. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know because you're my family, right? And I would like your support, just like if you made a decision, you want my support. Okay, so here it is. I'm gonna take a second wife, and then you let them know, right? Now, you come in there in a position of strength. You're not coming there seeking their approval. So you let them know, right? I'm not seeking your approval. I'm seeking your support. And if you don't support it, okay, fine. But at least I told you, okay? But I'm not seeking your approval. Why? Because I'm an adult. I make my own decision. No one's paying your bills. No one, you know what I'm saying? They're not giving you any type. You're not asking for advice. Shalom, sacred visions. So you're just letting them know, hey, listen, I would very much like your support. Okay, but if you don't get it, give it. That's fine. If I don't get it, okay, that's fine. I'm just letting you know what's going on. I'd rather you hear it from me first, right? That sort of thing. Now, what we have to remember is, again, does their opinion mean that much to us? Are we going to fall to pieces if we don't get it? Shalom, thankful life. Are we going to fall apart, or are we going to do it anyway? So you have to come at it from a position like that. Okay, you tell them, but you come from strength. Okay, that's one of
Yes,
my wives.
enlightened
Okay,
one. Yes.
okay. Shalom. Bless you and your household. Shalom. Um, so you want to come from a position of strength that you know what you're doing. Oh, also, I want to go back to something you had said when you said the potential and everybody has to be on board and everything.
Hmm.
You want to educate the potential and have them ready and girded up and stuff like that, because when they go to their family
Hmm.
and they're hemming and hawing and don't know how to really respond, they're just gonna pile on,
Right.
and then they feel not prepared. They feel
Right.
unprepared for this
Right.
onslaught.
That's why it's very important for the potential to be educated and,
Oh, yeah.
and to know
Yeah.
this is what she wants.
Yeah.
So that she could stand behind her decision, and when her family starts to question the who, what's, when, where, and why, she
Yep.
can answer those questions.
She can answer those exactly. Now again, when you answer, it doesn't mean that they're gonna turn around and be like, you know what, I never thought of it that way. You know what, you are absolutely right. Not that they would ever admit it. Even if they thought it, they may not ever admit that. But you have to be assured, okay? Because they're gonna family, they're gonna tell you exactly how they feel. They're gonna tell you how they feel. You tell them how you feel, and you go from there. You got to ask yourself something. We all have family, and we have extended family, things like that. But think about your family. Do you agree, or have you agreed with every decision that they've ever made? Chances are you probably didn't, right? Mm-hmm. But you say, look, I still support you. I don't, you made this decision, that decision, this decision. I didn't agree with that, but I still support you. I let you live your life. Let me do the same.
Right. So at the end of the day, just remember that your family, they do want you to be happy, and they do want the best ultimately for you. Sometimes what they think is the best for you is not always what you think is the best for you.
Exactly. So, it's just one of those things. Have the courage of your convictions, guys. I think we're going to go ahead and bring this video to a close, but I just wanted to kind of get in there, and I know some of us are going through it, especially with this lifestyle. It's very controversial. It's not easy to talk about. It's not easy to deal with. And some people, they just kind of hide in shame. Some people approach it the wrong way, and some people just give it a bad name. Okay, this is just marriage. That's it. That's all it is. It is marriage, and it's a huge responsibility. Okay, and like my wife said, fellas out there, I gotta let you know, you gotta show them that this benefit is not it's not mutually, it's not exclusively the benefit of the man. Okay, mm-hmm. It's not. All right, it's not. Most of the benefits biblically is to the woman. Okay, I might have to make a separate video about that, but most of the benefits is to the female. Okay, we know that one low hanging fruit benefit that the guys get, and that's what they like to harp on, but the list is not that much long after that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Love y'all. Sacred Vision. Love y'all. They are really on point. Thank you. Shalom, shalom. Bless both of you guys. But we're going to go ahead and bring that to a close. We thank you guys for joining us on that. Do me a huge favor, family. Do me a huge favor. Share the channel with other people, like-minded people. Preparedness, biblical marriage, all those type of things. We want to bring these topics to you. Put your comments in the comment section below. Say something. We want to hear your thoughts. Ask questions. Shalom, shalom. Humble Homestead, thank you for joining us. Put your comments below. Let us know what you want to talk about. We will tackle these subjects. We'll get on here. We'll talk about it. We'll be a voice for you. We'll answer questions, whatever we can, to the best of our abilities. And again, we appreciate all you guys joining us. Share with others. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, shalom. We'll see you on the next video.